Good evening, friends, followers, channel members. Welcome to the stream. Dramatic music for a potentially dramatic ending to the stream this evening as we put the new custom flight plan manager from FlyByWire through its paces. Now, this is still a work in progress. It's still got some bugs about it, but either way, we're going to have a bit of a play this evening, and what better place to test it than Paro Airport. For those of you unfamiliar with it, it's in the Himalayas. It is probably one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult airport in the world to land at. It is infamous. Forget your Funchal, your Gibraltars, Innsbruck. Makes those look easy. And if I begin just by showing you the approach. Now, bear in mind, it is a RNAV approach. Absolutely no ILS available to us. And if I begin by showing you the RNAV charts, which we'll explain and get into a little bit later on, perhaps you'll understand why it's quite difficult. So look at the terrain. We're going to be coming in here at Paro 888, and we're coming in all the way around, and just look at these altitudes. So we're at 13,800 feet by here. Look, we've got 13,000, well, call it 13,100. We're going to be about 700 feet from the rock face as we come all the way around here. And then we need to be visual and get ourselves down to land. And if we actually stay en route, of course, it doesn't take us to the airport at all. We have to make a very tight last minute turn to come in and down. And just to make matters a little bit more exciting, I've never landed here. I've never even practiced it, so what a way to have a stream. I thought we wanted to do something a bit special this evening as well, as after today I am away for a week. So what better way to end before going away on holiday, to go and do this flight. So where are we? We're currently at Delhi at the moment. So we're going to get our FlyByWire executives on board. That's you guys tonight. And this is actually a real-world flight as well. They fly from Delhi to this airport. Danny, no, we do not want to go around. So, good evening to all our Easyjetsimpilot members. Good evening to Talia, to Scott, Nick Burrows as well. Good to see you. Dr. Magic, Klaus, and Christian all here as well. Right, let's get on board. And so these are some of the new textures as well. This is looking rather nice. I've not actually seen these before, so it's quite nice. Colin, good evening. Let's get the external power hooked up. These textures are looking really smart, aren't they? Very smart indeed. We'll get the fly pad turned on as well. Darren, you hope I pull this off. Well, if I don't, thank God it's only a simulator. I cannot imagine the kind of training that the pilots have to go through to get this sorted. Information from SimBrief. There it is. I'm also going to put the flight plan, of course, into the chat if you are watching on YouTube. Here's the operational flight plan, which I shall pin for you guys. So on YouTube now, that should be all pinned up. I'm waiting for you. GD printed some of these charts off at work on A1 paper. Was asked what they were due to the terrain. I said they were geological grading plans. Well, if you can use the company ink, why not? Now the weather here, I mean, to be fair, if the weather's pants, I'm just going to clear the weather out. But as we have a look as we're going, I don't think there's too much wrong with the weather. I mean, technically it's the middle of the night over there. You're not going to be landing at this airport in the night time, so you're not going to get too much information. But basically, we've got good visibility, scattered 3,000 feet, 130 at 8. Yeah, so that's fine. But this is the sort of airport that if I was coming here in the real world, I'd be taking a shed load of extra fuel, because the go around is long, very, very long. So do you know what? Let's take 10. Let's take 10 tons of fuel and get that loaded up. Oh, we're pretty close anyway, so there we go. So, fueling is underway. How about some passengers? Okay, so passengers coming on board. We'll do the engine tests. All of those working as they should. Okay, so we're not going to get too bogged down with too much in terms of real ops this evening, but obviously just generally going through the flows that we would normally do, check everything is where it should be and working. That's all okay. Oh, that's nice. That the bottom of the transponder is actually working properly. It wasn't before. We're now getting proper little clicks, so not seeing that before. HD, good evening. It's been a while. Don't judge me on anything tonight. Danny, the ground control button is basically the cockpit voice recorder. Make sure it's working when the engines aren't running. So it's the ground control for the cockpit voice recorder that can come off once the engines have started. Right, where are we? Let's turn up the brightness on here. And flight directors 1 and 2 are on. Primary flight display, we'll get that cranked up. And oh, look at that! Look at that! There is a chart of the airport. There you can see the map there. Oh wow, how exciting! And just to show you that, yeah, this is where we're currently parked, just over here, stand 3 I think it is on Alpha. And yeah, look at that! How neat is that? Does your company have that, HD? There's our departure runway as well. That's really, really nice. Okay, moving on then. Let's get the first officers. I'm still going to leave those turned off. So there we go. That's turned off. HD, that's the first time I've heard you swear on stream, but yes, this is a posh aircraft. Okay, so very neat, very, very neat. It's that posh. I don't know what I'm doing with it. Right, that's all done. Iris alignment in 4 minutes time, and we'll just check the pressure status. Not the pressure status, the system status. That's all done. We can take the pressure status as well just by coming down and selecting that. Great stuff. Right, passengers are boarding. Good to hear that. I've also got some very nice reflections. I hope they're coming through quite nice. Yeah, very nice reflections on some of the screens. So our flight today from Delhi to Paro, not Pharaoh as as HD thought. Pharaoh would have been a lot easier. 1 hour 48 minutes, so we've got quite a nice lengthy flight as well this evening, so we can have a good stream, good chat, good entertainment, and a great community from you guys as well. So IRS is oh, why does that say align? Oh yeah, it is, it's still aligning, of course it is. It's because I'm completely thrown off the fact that I've got a map up here. And I thought they must have finished aligning, but of course not. IRS still aligning, so we'll get 3 nav green soon. HD, happy because the Emergency Council also has a cover on it. They've done a lot with this. This is really neat. When this comes out, this is probably going to be the biggest leap forward for FlyByWire since probably since its inception for a long time. It is really nice and neat. So we've got the valid AirAct cycle. Okay, let's do our init request. So there's our route, there's our alternate, FlyByWire 101, sparing no expense tonight, cost index of 41, flight level is 390, and minus 48 is our temperature, so we'll just update that. The tropo is showing at 56,500 feet, that's close enough for tonight. So our flight plan then, and look at this flight plan, doesn't that look much nicer? We've got bearings, we've got tracks, we've got mileage, wonderful, we've even got time. So we're going to depart from runway 27, and it's this basically, the custom flight plan manager with a little help of LNAV. So we've got accurate turns as well, which you're going to see. No longer are we going to get really sharp right angle turns. It's going to have a nice curves to it, which is really nice. Simon, good evening. Let's put in the Ali 5 Alpha departure. Let's try that again. There we go. Ali 5 Alpha. No user points. User points are a thing of the past, so we now actually just have the altitude shown as they should be, and let's just cross-reference that with the chart, see if that is there. Delta Papa 425. There you go. Look, 1280 to Delta Papa 425. 1280 to Delta Papa 425. I love it when a plan comes together. It's all there and it's all working. Fantastic. The arrival then. Let's have a look at the arrival. So the arrival, we're going to be doing the RNAV RMP Zulu to runway 15. RNAV 15 Zulu. And it is the Subsu 1, I think it is. Let me just double check that. Subsu 1. And that comes in by Pero 888. Yeah. There it is. Subsu 1 by Pero 888. Look how slow we have to be before beginning this approach through the hillside and the terrain. So let's get that in. Let me just clear GPS primary off as well. Insert. And if we now come up, have we got the map showing? Oh yeah, there we go. Map showing. Oh, where's my special airport where's my airport map gone? Where's that disappeared to? Oh, I don't know how to get that back. I'm not used to seeing it. And I can't zoom in any further. Oh well, never mind. So let's just go to plan mode and have a look. Turn on the constraints. And there we can see those constraints. It also looks really sharp and neat text-wise, doesn't it? Texture-wise, really nice. Let me scroll through that. In fact, if I can just bring that out. Oh, that's strange. That's a little bit different, isn't it? Well, as long as I can scroll through there. And we can see we've got some nice curves just at the top there. See, it's not a straight angle. Some gentle bends. Bringing us all the way around. Also, these constraints that you can see, altitude constraints, are also accurate. Now here's the next thing I want to bring to your attention. Look at that, we have a flight plan discontinuity, so we need to go in and clear it. For those of you that fly the CRJ, you'll probably be aware of those. So we're going to press the clear button and flight plan. There we go. So that's now all now cleared up. Let me just continue scrolling through, and I want to get to that approach. Look at the curves on that. And that is our approach. Isn't that beautiful? That is lovely to see. I hope I can fly it as nicely as the as it suggests. Essentially, it's going to be left in nav mode until we get to around here. That's where I'm going to knock that out. Okay, so turn that off. Yeah, of course. Pop the airport on. That should give us the. Should that not give us the? Not the airport. That's going to give us the airports around. Leave the constraints on there. Yeah, I don't know where the airport map has gone. That's a shame that's disappeared. Okay, so happy with that. Not going to bother putting anything in the RadNav page for the departure. Fuel, etc. Zero fuel weight, we'll just fill those in, and we're taking 10 tons, call it 9.9. 9.9. There's our takeoff weight. And our trip wind, which I forgot to fill in just there, is a headwind of 5. No, it isn't. It's a headwind of 8. Alternate time. Why is it not giving me anything for the alternate? So maybe a couple of things still to work on. Alternate is, we can call that 1.9 tons for safety. It's closer to 1.8, but if we put that in at 1.9 tons, then that's a lot of extra flying time, isn't it? Never mind. Doesn't matter. I don't mind having extra fuel for this flight. So then, that's all set up. Transition altitude here is 4,000 feet. We can leave thrust reduction. We'll go flaps 1. Get the V speeds. And do we have any speed restrictions on our departure? I don't think so. No, we just have constraints that we can see. Now, be aware that VNav is not yet implemented. Only LNav is implemented. But with the constraints that are now in the flight management system, because these are all correct, what I am going to try and do on departure is I'm going to set a flight level of 120 and see if it respects the constraints, because as I was flicking through I saw those coded in, and they were all coded in quite accurately, so it's going to be quite nice to see those as well. HD, yeah, BIPAN is an overfly. That's a good example. I can just see you guys chatting about that. So if you've got a big circle around it, BIPAN is an overfly. Although it does actually say fly over for the Ali 5 Bravo only, and we're not on the 5 Bravo, we're on the 5 Alpha. But there's a good example of what an overfly waypoint looks like on the chart. Okay, so let me just clear that out of the way. And that's all set. So what did I say? I'm going to set that to 12,000 feet. All done. And as you can see, I've got 9,000 magenta, which you won't see me refer to or use in the past, mainly because not all of the constraints are coded correctly in the default version. These are. So yeah, 9,000 is our first constraint, and if we go into flight plan, we should see that at Easyjet. Let me just scroll down, see if that's right. There we go. Easyjet. Okay. Right, we've got the last few passengers to get on board. Refueling is complete, so we're going to get the fuel pumps on, we'll get the APU started. Nice short taxi for us this afternoon. And get that started. HD, if you put the 5 Bravo SID in, it should have the triangle next to BIPAN on the flight plan page. That'll be something to check out in future, won't it? So our pushback and taxi is just over here. It's not a long taxi, as I say. For these test flights, I don't want to spend time on the ground. I want to get in the air. And particularly tonight, I don't want to spend any time flying into the ground, given the arrival that we're doing. Danny, I'd completely forgot I'd got the chat on the screen. Let me get rid of that. I normally have that on for the just the opening and then sometimes the cruise, but hopefully that didn't get in the way too much of the stuff that I was trying to show you. So that's now gone. What I also know is here as well, when TCAS is armed and it's just TA, you'll get a little message up at the bottom saying TA only. So that's quite neat. Christian S, good afternoon, hope you're well. APU bleed is on. Let's get rid of the external power. We can say goodbye to that. And we're nearly ready. I should also mention as well the ground textures for tonight's test flight are provided by Rex. Much more realistic ground textures, as I'm sure you can see just down there. A rather well-worn stand, looking rather nice. So a big thanks to Rex for providing those for us this evening. And as you can probably tell, we are not on live time. I did not want to be doing this flight in the dark. Everyone's on board. Let's close the doors. We'll also get the seatbelt signs on as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking, and on behalf of the FlyByWire development team, I'd like to welcome you on board this FlyByWire test flight in the Airbus A320. Today, we're going to be testing out some new systems, so I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. A reminder that this version of the Airbus is not yet available for download. All of the new systems will shortly be merged into the developer build and the upcoming experimental version. For now, please listen to your cabin crew, get yourself sat seated with your seatbelts securely fastened, and as the ground crew finish loading the last of your luggage into the aircraft, we look forward to a safe, smooth departure, and we hope you enjoy your flight. Once again, on behalf of the FlyByWire team, thank you very much for choosing to fly with us today, and we look forward to delivering you a safe journey.
Okay, so whilst I was rattling on with the pre-recorded message, I was going through the before start checks to the line, and we're going to get the windows and doors closed and armed.
Cabin crew, we're all ready to go. Please arm the doors and cross-check. Thank you.
And we'll get the pushback mod to come in. And sit back, relax, and enjoy as we have a controlled flight into terrain. Thanks, Talia. Before start checks below the line then, windows and doors are indeed closed and armed. Rotating beacon light is on. Mobile phones on silent and parking brake is on as well. Right, so we're going to get ready to push and we're going to get the engine started. So let's just come down here. Acupressure is not in the green. That's because I've not had the luggage door open. Interestingly enough, does this still work if we get the yellow electric pump on? Will that start to pressurize? It does. That's nice, isn't it? Great to see that. There we go. Lovely stuff. Okay, and we'll start the timer. Transponder onto standby. Let's get that pump back off now. And back we go. Release the parking brakes. Engines then. So engine mode select to ignition. Starting engine 1. So guys, if you just joined, hope you've enjoyed the features that we've showed you so far. Hit the like button for us if you are enjoying the stream, and of course potentially hit the subscribe if you're enjoying that. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell as well. So this pushback isn't going to be very far. HD, the turn radius is approximately 1% of ground speed. Yeah, another one of those little things you need to try and remember when doing stuff like that. Alexander's banging on the door. He wants to get off. He's too scared. You and me both, mate. You and me both. And starting engine 2. Is it just me, or does everything look a lot more crisp tonight? All the textures really nice in the flight deck. Just realised I never actually loaded the aircraft of the passenger weights. It's now loaded. Engine number 2 is stabilised. Engine mode selector to normal. Ground control can come off. APU bleed off. Anti-ice not required. APU is off. Spoilers, rudder, and flaps. Set the trim. I've just got to set the trim and I've lost my mouse. Where's my mouse gone? Oh, there we go. It doesn't like that view for some reason. Let me come over here and do it manually. Oh, I've lost my mouse again. Oh, there we go. Are we back? No, I've lost it again. Right, okay. There we go. Is that a bug that's come in since Sim Update 5? I didn't lose the mouse in this view, just here, did I? What was the trim? 29.4. Yeah, there. There's the moment I move, it just disappears. Makes setting this a little bit difficult, doesn't it? There we go. Okay, that all looks good then. Pushback tug is clear. Let's run the F-start checks. Anti-ice not required. ECAM status is all checked and looks good. Pitch trim 29.4 when we got there eventually. And rudder is 0. With the pushback tug clear, taxi lights on. Let's remove the parking brakes. Just before we do that, I'm going to do a flight control check. full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, rudder, full right, rudder, full left, and neutral. I'm going to ding the cabin. It's only a short taxi so they can get themselves sat down.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
Okay, release the parking brake. Let's taxi out. So normally we'd be doing our heads check by this point, but not for the sake of this flight. It's going to be a toga takeoff anyway. Engine out procedure, no idea. Departure, we're going to 12,000 feet, but we're constrained to 9,000 magenta. And before takeoff, checklist to the line. So flight controls check, departure briefing, semi-confirmed. Flaps 1. FMA and takeoff data is 137 blue, 132 magenta, climb nav blue, 9,000 magenta, 1FD2, and toga. There's our holding point for runway 27. Transponder is set, ECAM memo takeoff, no blue, electronic flight bag is stowed. So let's now come down and just do the final checks. Brake temperatures are fine. Let's get the strobe lights on, runway turn-off lights, landing lights, and nose lights are all on. Let's get the packs off. 1 and 2. And before takeoff, checklist to the line. Below the line, cabin is secured. Engine mode select normal. And let's get the TCAS on and transponder. So there we go. I've just turned TCAS to TARA. Let's just run the check. So cabin secured for takeoff, engine mode selected to normal, TCAS TARA, packs off, anti-ice not required. So showing TARA at the moment. Oh, I've still got the bug where I can't look where I'm going and control the aircraft at the same time, which is a shame. And I have to keep remembering that, because any corrections I try to make while panning around the flight deck don't work, so you end up either oversteering or overflying. Don't want that. Don't want that to happen on landing. HD, yeah, the TA should be in the centre, shouldn't it? Not offset to the left, but we'll certainly forgive them for now. Right then, take off. And what I want to do is I want to get the autopilot on nice and early to see how it flies. Okay, so it's going to be a HD takeoff. Autopilot on by 200 feet. Side stick off, forward, take off. Start the chrono. Set 50% and 1. Engine stable, set takeoff thrust. Man toga, SRS, and runway. $80 knots. Start to bring the side stick back to neutral. Runway track, 100 knots. V1 and rotate. Nav.
Positive ring 10.
Okay, so autopilot 1 is now on. Let's see how she flies, shall we? And set climb thrust. Thrust climb. Climb. Pack 1. and pack 2. So not doing anything really at the moment other than just watching to see how the aircraft handles the departure. And so far it's looking really nice. So S speed is coming up. Thank you to the guys on YouTube for subscribing. I'm just monitoring the departure at the moment. There's S speed, so flap 0, ground spoilers disarmed. Strangely enough, in this version just yet, the terrain radar will not is in-op. We've got an in-op terrain radar, which is going to be a bit of a ball ache coming into Perro, but never mind. So remember right at the start of the flight we spoke about BPAN being an overfly waypoint, but it's not for this particular SID. Had we taken the other SID, it would have been. So you can see we're not, strictly speaking, overflying it. So that's actually correct. Willie, good evening. Yes, indeed, this is the bespoke flight management system, fully custom. So what the aircraft should do is it should hold 9,000 feet, which, to be fair, it will do. I have no concerns of it not doing that. Ewald, the terrain will be solved when merging into the dev. It's a sim sim update 5 thing. Yeah, why doesn't that surprise me? Hollabop, that is a good point. I can use the middle mouse button, can't I, to pan around, and that doesn't affect the flight controls. That's a really useful tip, but one I will forget. Right, there we go. That's something you don't normally see because I don't normally fly with it. We've got speed, and now we've got alt constraint star coming up. So this is 9,000 feet, which is going to hold us at for a couple more waypoints to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we climb towards our cruising altitude today on this fly-by-wire test flight, please take a moment to fill out the complimentary will-making kit. You'll find this in the pocket of the seat in front of you. Once again, we thank you for being passengers on board this special test flight and promise you that the drinks trolley shall be around shortly. If you have any special requests for today's flight, please contact a member of our cabin crew. You may now also switch back on your electronic devices. However, a reminder that this is a test flight, and so you do so at your own risk. Thank you.
So HD, it should have gone to runway track until airborne. I was going to ask you about that after the stream, actually. I didn't think runway track should show until we were airborne because it's essentially similar to the go-around track, isn't it? It's just holding you on the runway centerline heading. Obviously the go-around track then varies off to where you need to go, but the runway track it should be holding until the until nav is required. So now we're still holding 9,000 feet until Agena, and if I just quickly double check that SID chart, we should then go up to 10,000 feet at La Potte, or flight level 100 at La Potte. So let's just see what happens as we pass this waypoint just here. We should see this change. There we go, thrust climb, 120 blue. Now strangely enough, of course, VNAV isn't completely sorted yet because we should be constrained to below flight level 100 by La Potte. So it's not held that one, but never mind. So we're now at 10,000 feet. and we're going to go up to flight level, we can go flight level 350 as it is at the moment, so let's set that. So thrust climb 350 blue.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has now turned off the seatbelt sign and you are now free to move around the cabin. We do recommend, however, when in your seat, that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times in case of unexpected turbulence. The toilets are now available. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
What you can also see as well is you can also see your departure airport shown on there as well, which is again new. So the navigation display has been completely updated and changed with this new version. And we can set this to standard pressure as well. So now we're just basically monitoring the systems as we would do any normal real ops flight, really. But have you noticed what else you've got on the top right hand corner? You've also got your estimated time of arrival at the next waypoint. Again, something new added to the navigation display. Old novice pilot, good evening. You no longer need to open out the flight pad on the dev version. I'm not sure about the stable build, but the dev build, you no longer need to open this out to type into it. It's no longer affected. They've sort of disabled it from interfering with the simulator controls, so you can go in there, type away, and you'll not affect the simulator at all. So yeah, we're now climbing away quite nicely. Everything appears to be working as per usual. In terms of our route today, I think it's rather straightforward. I'm just having a look to see if we can get any directs in, just to shorten it a little bit. Oh, we could do a direct to Apipu waypoint, and if I just bring the chart in just there, so you can see instead of coming out here and going down to Lucknow, we could take a little shortcut to Apipu. Just checking the Moras where we're going to be safe with those. So let's go ahead and do that and check that that works. So we're going to go direct to Apipu. Ordinarily you'd get a yellow line drawn. I don't see that happening. Anyway. There we go. That's worked quite nicely. Abed, thank you so much for your donation there, Abed. Hope you are well. It's going right. It's going really well so far. Willie, at the moment, it's. Do you know what? That's a very good question. I think it's still pulling it from the sim. Yeah, it has to be still pulling it from the sim. I can't think of where else it's getting it from. Otherwise, it's going to have to get its own Eric cycle update from somewhere, isn't it? So yeah, again, I find that quite handy seeing a time on there. I don't know why. It's probably so I can plan my flights and arrivals a little better when the missus shouts, "How long are you going to be?" Captain 79, good evening. Demon to Hunter 777 on Twitch. Good evening to you as well. I don't think the beam feature's working yet though. So for instance now if I wanted to do a fuel check I could have set this but done a beam. That would have kept everything else on the navigation display. So that would have been nice to be able to see for fuel checks. HD, can I look at the lateral waypoint data? What would you like me to check? Yeah, so I don't think they've done too much with that. And I think at the moment everything else is the same as it was. It'll come. Certain it will. Great Gamer UK, thank you for following on Twitch. Just keeping an eye on the live weather as well. Plus 22. To be fair, that's probably correct. We are in a rather warm, moist area of the globe. So the flight time of 1 hour and, what was it, about 1 hour 45 minutes. I've got plenty of time to enjoy the scenery, enjoy the aircraft, chill out, have some nice views, and I can't wait to show you the approach into Paro. That's going to be very interesting. Kapila, on Australian time, good morning to you too. What time's it over there? Some like 20 to 8? 20 to 7? Australia does pass a couple of different time zones, doesn't it? So for those of you that may have joined us late, this particular version is not yet available for download. This is new, it's still in testing. But if all goes well, I would like to fly this a lot more on VATSIM when we do the real ops flights. And hopefully in the not too distant future this version will be available. Sort of I don't know if they're going to, this will become the experimental build actually. And sure, if we look left in about 45 minutes we're going to see Everest. Yes. Yeah, so it's going to be obviously in around 45 minutes time, as you say, over there. I think, I'm not sure, because I don't know the geography of this place, of this area too well. But I'm not sure if you can see Everest. You can certainly see the Himalayas. That's what we're going to try and avoid as we come into Paro. But I don't know if you can actually see Everest as we're coming in. Hollywood, make sure you film with your phone and overshoot the centre line to make it a realistic landing. I've seen that video doing the rounds on Facebook and various aviation websites. Oh, how did they survive? It looked awful. Has everybody seen that? I want to try and find the link and pop it in the Discord server if it's not already there. There was a 737, wasn't it? Or it looked like a 737. Yeah, you got a pilot in the jump seat, and obviously first officer, and what I can only imagine was a trainee first officer, trying to do his first land. Well, I hope it was his first landing here at Paro. And yeah, The first time I watched it was in complete disbelief. The second time I was in hysterics as he was swinging left, right, left, right, left, right, and the the captain sat in the left-hand seat going, "No, that's okay, don't worry, don't worry." I'm thinking, "Don't worry." I'd be worrying. How the guy with the phone didn't just turn it round on himself and utter goodbyes to his loved ones, I have no idea. Mad Pilot 01, good evening. Yeah, the graphics look much, much better now. Willie, it was a jump seat pilot, wasn't the real pilot. Nick, am I taking a flight for my hollybobs? No, 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 no. What I might do while I'm away, though, I might upload some images of where I am, and pop those on YouTube. See if you can guess. Jen, do check the Mentor pilot video on that. Yeah, I've no idea where it is. I'd love to share it. I've no idea where it is. But it was... is that the one, HD? TRIMG 737 on YouTube. Ugh. It was... it's not for the faint-hearted. let's put it that way. But in terms of what the graphics look like now, yeah, there's nothing wrong now, is there? Look at that. Very sharp, very clean and clear, even with the jet blast. Wayne, I'll be hokey-cokeyed out in a few days. Yeah, well, we are taking the kids with us, sadly. Rocky, good evening. You've just flown around Hawaii. Bet that looked nice. GD, if there's an incident, you wonder if my passengers will become cannibals. So, for those of you that aren't aware, on Sunday evenings, we started a new series, Sunday evenings, flying some of the most famous and most iconic routes and roads in the world. We did the very first one of the series on Sunday just gone, and we're flying down Interstate 95 down the eastern seaboard of the USA. That's taking place on Sunday evenings, so be sure to tune in for that. There won't be the second episode this Sunday, however, because well, I'm away, but I really can't wait to for a week on Sunday where we do that again, because that really is good fun. VFRing our way down, literally with Google Maps at the side of us to see where we're going. Juan, I'm at... No. And shoot, am I going to be light enough to decelerate during the finals? The descent is very steep. Indeed it is. Yeah, we'll be able to slow down. That's okay. I said the Sunday was the best night for you in a while. Indeed. Yeah, so the first episode was on Sunday just gone, a couple of days ago. And we started off at the Canadian border, right at the toll booth, where I-95 begins. And I worked it out. We did if we do a couple hundred miles, oh no, what did we do? About 120, 130 miles, didn't we? Because we're flying low and slow. Some fantastic scenery as we were heading down. Low and slow, live weather, and rough calculation, it's going to take us about 16 weeks to do the full trek. And that's going to be awesome. So Isaac, will I be flying the Phoenix 320 on launch? If so, will you will I mainly use that instead of the fly-by-wire? I honestly couldn't tell you at the moment, Isaac. The thing with the Phoenix is it's obviously going to have so many complicated systems and realisms for things like, you know, little general failures, and I'm not talking catastrophic failures, but just sometimes you'll be flying along, maybe a little niggle, and you think, oh well, that system's up, that might just affect something on landing, so we need to be aware of that. But I don't think you're going to get any better than the FlyByWire A320 and what they're doing for just general day-to-day flying with a fully operational aircraft. Nick, have you just posted that link to Paro in the Pilot's Lounge? Great stuff. Alexander, no, definitely not. As I've just said, the fly-by-wire aircraft is phenomenal. And it's free as well, remember? Sarcotech, no, the weather radar... actually, no, the weather radar is functioning. I've had this... I tested this before the stream. The weather radar is functioning. Just remember, the weather radar now only shows precipitation. It doesn't show just general clouds. Wait, I'm not going to read that out, but fair play to you. I think we have to go to Rome to see that, HD. There's so many different iconic flights, sorry, iconic roads that we could fly, isn't there? The typical one to do would have been Route 66, and I thought, well, that's a bit on the nose. So for the first one, we'll do something a little bit different. And the fact that you're flying with just amazing scenery, hardly anything around, and you're just seeing little hamlets, little villages coming up every so often. And they're all there. That's where Microsoft Flight Simulator really does win. Ibrahim, I'm afraid I have no information of when all the new fly-by-wire versions will come into what I believe will be the experimental version. Christian, wouldn't it be funny if HD had an app on his phone that controlled the aircraft failures that happened? No, it'd be cruel. I get the feeling I'd be in Geneva. I'd lose the GPS, and air traffic control wouldn't be able to radar vector because their radar would have gone down, and I'd just be flying blind into mountains. And I'd just get things back up and running again, and it'd fail the system. Fail the other side. Fail the backup. Oh yeah, HD, you could just do that. Tell me to turn the fuel pumps off. We should be fine, they're gravity fed. Sarcodec, no, there's no precipitation in front of us. Well, not according to the weather radar, but using our eyes, of course. Once again, the high-level cirrus clouds always causes an issue with the frame rates. If they were going to reduce the quality of the clouds to improve performance, they certainly haven't done so for the cirrus high-level clouds. Oh, Wayne, why not? It's bright, luminous green as well. Talia, should we see mountain goats ahead of us? If we do, we won't see them for very long. Rocky Spot, good evening. Air traffic control seem to be having a problem still with assigning altitudes, are they? See, I don't use default ATC, so unfortunately I'm unable to say yay or nay to that.
Ladies and gentlemen, on
John on Facebook, good evening. There's nothing ahead of me. There's no other aircraft in the simulator at the moment. Hopefully, so we don't get any crash to desktops. HD, the Phoenix will be great at demonstrating failure management, but you'll need the correct documentation to do it properly. So the QRH, mail off, com, etc., which does have me wondering, what documentation is that aircraft going to ship with? So we're now at flight level 350, and look, we can start to see some precipitation ahead of us. If I just zoom out, will that show? Yeah, there you go. There's the weather radar working. Jed, can I make a video on how to shift directly from the cockpit view to the cabin view? That's already done. Just check what we got, Mac Alt. That's already done. So I'm using custom views, which you can use. You can download and use yourself. They're available to download in the Discord server. And there's a video as well on the channel explaining how to install those. Alt Cruise. Driddy, good evening. You haven't played the sim in a couple of days, are there still crashes? Most of the crashes you will find are due to liveries at the moment. Liveries and mods that are not Sim Update 5 compatible. So if you can get rid of those, you should, fingers crossed, be okay. Simon, thank you so much for your donation, Simon. Some change for all the people that will sue you for all the broken bones in Paro. But in all seriousness, hope I'm well and have a holiday. Oh, thank you so much, Simon. You're very, very kind. I am looking forward to a week off. And Tom on Facebook, you're struggling to get settings for a RTX 390. Do I know of any? You're getting quite a few stutters. I don't have that, so I'm afraid I definitely can't help you there, I'm afraid. Sarkotech, what is the 0.03 on the main flight display? So that is your lateral displacement, or think of it how far you are away off track, which 0.03 can be quite happy with. See, the sort of approach as well that we'd be doing into Paro, we'd have to make sure that we got very high GPS accuracy as well. Zat, am I on VATSIM? No, I never do a test flight on VATSIM. Never. Steve, will the Phoenix have the ability to open cockpit windows and shades? I think you can open the windows. I'm sure I saw one of the developers answer that question once. Oh, Jayhawk, don't tell me there's no internet signal. I don't want to know that. Oh, the kids aren't going to be able to watch Peppa Pig. Paul, no, this is not in the dev branch. This is still a QA pre-release test version. And Anshu, yes, quite right. The Paro requires the RMP certification. For, of course, the airlines, they need the appropriate licenses, the aircraft, the pilots. Well, looks like we're going to be sticking at this cruising altitude because I've got quite a quite a lot of extra fuel on board. Not that I care about that for a test flight. But hopefully you guys can see the difference in the quality of the flight deck as well. All textures looking nice and sharp, and the navigation display looking really, really neat. Isaac, you're off to begin your descent now. Enjoy. Hope you have a safe landing. Genesis, what's the most accurate navigation and landing system? Well, to date, obviously the common one is the ILS. But the GPS is probably going to overtake that in a few years. Yeah, Nick, so if you're looking at the RNAV 15 Zulu, it's just telling me what I've got set in the FMGC. So we know that we've got the RNAV 15 Zulu coded in at the moment. Darren, you're not going to hit like until we've landed. Do we have to land? This seemed like a good idea this afternoon when I thought, hey, I know what will be good for a final stream before I go away for a week. Camilla, how do you get the weather radar on the navigation display? It's turned on just down here by the captain's right knee. Just turn that on there. Kneecaps 2000, you were on a fantastic final RMP approach in real life yesterday. Kneecaps 2000, where was that? The Captain Marcus 45, thank you for subscribing.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the cockpit once again, just let you know that we've reached our cruise level for the flight today. The cabin crew will be waiting their way around, serving drinks, hot coffee, teas, etc. So if you need any items from there or items, we free to sit back and enjoy the rest of the flight. Thank you.
And if you do have faith that we are going to land tonight, then please do hit the like button on the stream. It really does help other people find the channel, and of course can hit subscribe as well if you see fit. Nicholas Diego, thank you for subscribing as well. Dark, is the meter supposed to show on the top of the backup primary flight display? Well, again, that's something new that's recently been implemented by the FlyByWire team, isn't it? That's showing just there. You used to be able to turn it on. You can turn it on just here to pop it on the primary flight display, as you can see just there. Useful when flying in China. Not that I fly in China very often. I think we've done one stream where we passed through China and we completely ballsed up their airspace. God bless the air traffic controller that day. Matt, how do I get my voiceover on the PA? So I use a program called Self-Loading Cargo for that. HD, you've liked, don't crash. It's the go-around procedure that gets me on this. Let's just have a look. Yeah, I mean, there's a go-around procedure, then there's a go-around procedure. Now, the go-around procedure is sadly it's not showing on here, which is a bit of a pain. But basically, you climb 16,000 on the RMP boost approach track, so that's not going to be in there just yet. But essentially, the go-around, you follow just follow the riverbed whilst climbing up to 16,000 feet. It then brings you back in around, and then you can have another go. We'll just keep going around in circles over and over and over again. Christian, that's a good idea. The Great Wall VFR Tour as part of our iconic flights series. I've not actually checked. It's got to be in there, isn't it? The Great Wall of China is in the simulator. You can see it from space, so presumably it is there. Or does the AI render it as some office blocks? HD, surely there's another chart for that. Well, hang on. Let's have a quick look. Believe it or not, the charts for this airport are surprisingly weak. There's one chart showing the stars, which basically bring you in with the approaches to start at Paro 777, Paro 888. And then if we go to the approach, you've got 3 different options. The Zulu, the Yankee, yeah, and so this is the... See, these are also unspecified, which I don't quite understand, because runway 15, runway 13, well, I wouldn't want to be landing on runway 15 going in this direction. There's no circle to land. That's not permitted. And the X-ray, again, very similar. And the Zulu, however, brings us around. So I think, as Anshu has just said, the go round will be a visual first to the Paro VOR, and then back to the initial approach. That would be a very long line of office blocks. Indeed it would. Steve, thank you for subscribing. Sarkotech, do we need anti-ice on now? That's a good question. What is the temperature? Oh, technically we should, because it's minus 35. But I'm not getting an ice detection warning, so we're good. We're okay. Steve, good luck trying the circle to land. Yeah, I don't mind attempting it in Innsbruck, but even that's just for a little bit of fun. I mean, circle to land, where? You'd have to be in a... I think even a 152 would struggle, wouldn't it? Looks like we're starting to come out of this high level cloud, which is good. I'll get the frame rates back. Aerob 920, if you check out the channel, there is a video which looks at getting those graphics back if you're still suffering from poor graphics following the update. Flight Sim Pro, how do you record Flight Sim ATC audio if you route the audio to your headsets? Well, I don't have any audio for my Flight Simulator computer. I don't have any speakers. Everything's coming through the headset, so I can monitor everything. Danny Fox, yeah, night mode. You can turn that on and off just here. So I prefer night mode. I think that looks much nicer. Oh, there we go. We've left the bad weather behind now. Beautiful. Jackson Music, which version of the FlyByWire am I using? Okay, so check out the video description. This is a special edition. Alex, and good evening. You've recently got into Microsoft Flight Simulator and you've been using a lot of the videos on the channel to help you. You've still got to work on your manual landings, but it's getting easier thanks to the videos. Oh, you're more than welcome. And Alex, what I'd recommend, certainly to begin with, is if you're using the FlyByWire developer build, then leave autopilot on. Do an auto land, or at least leave it on till about 200 feet in the simulator. Leave it on till 200 feet and then just gradually bring it back. 200 feet, 400 feet, 600 feet, 1,000 feet, and you'll get there. He says, sounding very, very confident. but the landing that's going to be coming up a little bit later on is going to be something special. Who runs Flight Sim's best bits? Because they may want to record this. Flight Sim 123, you wish you were able to open the flight deck windows in FlyByWire. Why? We'll spend. No, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a bit of a competition. I might put some pictures up of where I'm staying, and you have to try and guess. What's more, I might even make them Microsoft Flight Simulator pictures, just to make it even more difficult. SCM, your autopilot and some of the lights do not work on the A320X fly-by-wire. Do I have the same problem? No, I've never had that problem. I've seen a lot of people saying that they're having issues with lights. All I could suggest is, do you have any liveries? If so, get rid of them. Alex, listen to HD, who's just provided that advice, and I'll second that. Look out the window, which sounds completely daft. Why wouldn't you look out the window? But it's so easy to get drawn into the instruments, particularly on an ILS approach. I certainly used to be guilty of it. I said you're about to do an approach in the side, say RJ, and you're probably going to be scrap on fire in around 20 minutes. Actually, in real life, you'll have an 80 knot tailwind in this route at this time of year with the westerlies. Well, funnily enough, we had none. We are on real live weather as well. And to be fair to Microsoft and Asobo, real live weather en route winds are usually spot on. Jhog 2001, no, you're banned. Yaroslav, yesterday when you were doing approach into Heathrow, you saw R277 and R278 markings on a turn. I would imagine they are radials, if I'm thinking of what you're trying to describe. Flight Sim Pro, you suspect I'm vacationing in Paro. Zat, you watched the video on the channel basically setting the arrival to practice landings, and it's a great idea. It does work really well. I think there was a time when it didn't because of one of the sim updates, but I think that's been brought back in now, so you can do it. JJ Small Piece, so your McDo doesn't recognise Leeds or Heathrow. There's a problem with the nav database. I don't think I've ever flown to either of those recently. I've not flown to Leeds. I've not flown to Leeds Airport in Microsoft Flight Simulator since, well, ever. It's just not an airport I land at. Which is surprising, as I'm only about 25-30 miles away. Virtual Aviation, good evening to you. So glad to hear that the content's helped. Jackson Music, I'm afraid I have no idea where the A380 is going to be released. But as soon as it is, we'll be taking a good look at it. So make sure you do hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell, so you'll be around for when that stream comes. HD Yorkshire Airlines. That's something else someone should pin into the Discord channel. That is good fun as well. Departing Leeds, arriving Leeds, because if it's not Leeds, it's not really worth going. See though, being from Sheffield, we don't really like Leeds that much, but I think that's just a football thing. Max Rank, you're new to the channel. Oh, good great to have you on board, Max. Welcome. You've only ever been an Airbus guy, so you're very impressed with the fly-by-wire simulation. Yeah, they've done a fantastic job, haven't they? Wayne, they serve mushy peas with everything. Oh, Jackson Music, thank you for that. Is that simple? You can't load in cold and dark in many UK airports, particularly Gatwick. Any suggestions? What mods do you have in? Have you got... sorry, I'm just looking through the clouds down there. That looks good. Nice and sharp textures. If you've got anything else in other than the A320NX from FlyByWire, they could be causing conflictions, so yeah. Ben, no, the version of the Airbus A320NX that I'm flying at the moment is a pre-release version. Check out the video description. Hopefully that should answer your questions. Christian, you wonder then when there will be a Zeppelin in the game. Christian, funnily enough, I was on Flight Radar 24 the other day, as I am at some point during every day, and I saw a Zeppelin, and it was in Germany. I thought of you, actually. I even screenshotted it. I was going to send it to HD and say, how often do you have to avoid these? Wayne, I love Wednesdays. So does my lad. We're going to have to take him to his first football match this season, I think. So Ryan, what's the flight plan manager? It basically, I mean, that's a very good question. How can you put that into a single sentence? It basically is a custom flight plan manager, which means it no longer relies on the simulator. So all the rubbish that you get when you're on your final approach and your star and the aircraft jumps back to the previous waypoint and all that daft stuff, that's all gone. User waypoints have also gone as well. Virtual aviation, how do you calculate the flex temp for the A320? Sadly, you need you need a calculator to do that. It's not something you can work out. There's no easy mathematical formula. So do you need the latest AirX title to be on VATSIM? No, you don't. No. If something is wrong, then the controllers will just they'll just reroute you. Yaroslav, so get in our Discord server if you can, and myself and, as HD's just said, we'll try and sort that out for you. Look at those clouds. Look at those clouds indeed. That's the best I've seen the clouds following Sim Update 5. Christian, I saw that as well. Yeah, I did. I did see that. Ellis 333, what graphic settings am I using now for a 1660? It looks very sharp. That is a very good question. I spent quite a bit of time going through and sorting this. And I like the trade-off. I do like the graphics because I love the immersion, but I obviously also want a smooth simulator, so I might have to do a video when I get back off holiday showing my updated settings. Jensen, what about the VIRs? Has that been fixed? No, we've been routed to VORs right over the airport. You have to remember, of course, that they are some of those are real-world procedures, but I know what you're saying. Manchester's a bugbear for it. You don't want to have to go via the Mike Charlie Tango VOR all of the time. HD, you don't want to fly through that. No, indeed. That's something you don't want to fly through. That's great to see. Thankfully, as you can see, we've got none of that ahead of us, although something cropping up just there. Keep an eye on that. We'll be on the ground in less than an hour. Or into the side of the mountain. I haven't decided yet. Christian, that looks more like one of the spaceships from Independence Day. What fantastic music that film had. Daniel, what level of detail am I running? That is a very good question. I actually, honestly, can't remember. I played around with it that much. And Shu, with the monsoon in South Asia, you'll have towering cumulus all over the place. Yeah, and the simulator's doing a grand job of replicating those. If the weather looks shocking as we're coming into Paro, there's a good chance I'm going to be clearing that. I don't fancy doing it for the first time blind. In fact, what are the minimums? There's got to be something sensible, haven't there, for this approach? Right, okay, yeah, so about 3,000 feet above the runway. And 5 kilometers. Michael, you live in the stream, but you're cheating on your approach to power. You're using the Airbus H135. Rocky Spock, it looks like a simulated image of an anvil cloud. Yeah, you're quite right. We're going to see where that takes us. Hyacinth, are you at Paro now for us? Yeah, you guys all jump into the simulator. Tell me what the live weather's looking like at Paro and let me know what you, whether I should get rid of that. I think if the weather's this bad, in real life, you'd be diverting, wouldn't you? Yeah, I think it only has 2 flights a day at the minute, doesn't it? Paro. One of them's from Delhi, the other one is Kathmandu, I think. Captain Mass Russell. Good evening, sir. What's the new flight plan manager all about? Right, well, basically, it no longer relies on the simulator's flight plan manager. So we have nice rounded lines. We don't have user waypoints. We basically just have better management laterally at the moment. Not VDEV, not yet. Or VNAV, sorry, not VDEV, VNAV. We don't have VDAV just yet. So Everest should be somewhere on our left, shouldn't it? Can't see it, sadly. Thomas, we flew from Delhi. I'm sure you guys will all agree, those clouds look phenomenal. That doesn't look quite so good. We'll keep an eye on that. Welcome back, HD. We're just looking at the weather radar thinking, yeah, should we, shouldn't we? Virtual aviation, is it possible to do holds yet? No, not yet. But again, that's something that will be coming to this version of the fly-by-wire mod. Yeah, so you can see the station's not even available because it's the middle of the night in India. Is it in India? It's not actually India, is it? But middle of the night. No one's landing there at this time. I'm sure somebody will be able to give me a METAR the latest METAR. The problem is the last METAR from Pero would have been a few hours ago when the airport was open. Andrew, thank you from Delhi, Kathmandu, Calcutta and Bangkok. Yeah, HD, what we're all really thinking is we hope you didn't go in the sink. Air Trooper 37, it's going to be in the 40s. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not where you are, mate. That'd be no good for me. Darren, we're on live weather at the moment. Andrew, do you have to phone them in at Pero? Andrew, I'm getting the feeling you've got a hell of a lot of local knowledge around here, so you're either a an anorak around this part of the world, or you are within the aviation business. Christian, yeah, I don't think that's up to date anymore, is it? That was 9 hours ago. Jayhawk is the music you can hear coming from me. Yeah, I've got the piano next to me, tootling away. It is next to me, actually. Skyline Marty on Twitch, in answer to the Great Wall of China question, it is marked as a point of interest, but it does not appear well modelled. You can see just the satellite pictures, but with nothing there. Oh, that's a shame. There's going to be some downdrafts under that anvil head, isn't there? Should we deviate for weather? Mind you, deviate where? Head to the right of it. Let's have a quick check. We've actually got red showing to the right, although out of the window it doesn't look that bad to the right. It looks like you could skirt around that. Well, we'll not go through the centre of it. That's the main thing. P, as we go down, we will be ditching live weather. I can't do this approach without a good visual. So if I come into heading mode, and we'll just come about to the right a little bit, because I'm not going anywhere near that. Wait, chicken. Yeah, but now look, there's your deviation showing. Nice to see. Should probably have a look at this approach, shouldn't we? So what do we want? We want to be 17,000 feet at Papa Romeo 888. So let's have a look. Transition altitude. Oh, there's the missed approach. That's what I was looking for. It's on the right hand side. Look, there it is. There's your missed approach. Top of descent is not yet implemented, Ryan. It's that will be under VNAV, not which hasn't been done just yet. So transition altitude is 18,000 feet. Platform altitude is well 13,800 feet. Minimum safe altitude. Is there one? I'm not so sure there is one. And our decision altitude is 10,290. I'm going to be going on to non-live weather, so our QNH is going to be 1013. There's no ILS, of course. The elevation is 7,364. And missed approach is 16,000 feet. So, here's our approach. The RNAV Zulu to runway 15. Oh, HD, good spot, thank you. We're definitely not a Cat A aircraft. 10,320. So when are we going to begin that descent? How are we doing with this weather? Youch. Glad we didn't fly on our actual path. Kevin, you've flown this in the Cessna and the TBM. You can't imagine doing it in A320 though, but they do it in real life. Well, I've seen A319s. I've not seen 320s. So, yeah, as I say, I've seen 319s listed as going there, but I've not seen the 320s. And of course, we've all seen the video of the 737 bouncing down the runway there. And sure, you need to be fully configured by 11,000. Well, funnily enough, as I'm not familiar with this, I would have been fully configured higher than that. I wanted to be fully configured by Papa Romeo 816, given that I don't really know what I'm doing with this approach. It's not one I've been trained to do. It's not one that I've ever done before. So yeah, I was looking to be fully configured by this point. Fully configured by there, low and nice and slowly then round the bend. So what I am going to do now is just go to the prog page and add Papa Romeo 888. Get that in there. 222 miles away, and I want to start my approach at around, bear in mind we need to slow down as well. By the time we get there, we need to be well, close to what green dot will be, 185. So I want to slow that down. I want to get down probably around 70 miles out. So if we start the approach 70 miles out, we should be good. Look at the texturing on here. You can see the raised bumps. That's nice. Maxim, good evening. Hope you're well. Quite right, not seen you for a while. Right, so we should be able to get back on track now. This is going to be interesting to see. So Sub-Su is showing, which is good because now it's not wanting to take me back to the waypoints that I've missed. Let's just look out the window and see. Yeah, that looks okay. Oh wow, look at that. Hang on, let me just get back into nav mode so the aircraft can do its thing. Oh, and that's nice as well. Look, we're not making a hard left-hand turn just to get us 90 degrees in. It's going to bring us around quite neatly, I think. to get us back on track to Subsu. I may have spoke too soon there, actually. We'll just check out this turn, see how it goes. We are 10 miles off track, mind. A320 320 was like a roller coaster going over the Alps today. Yeah, that happens all the time. So if we go direct Subsu, would that help? Yeah, so that's now just... Okay, so that's something that perhaps still needs working on. HD just beat you to it. Clouds looking gorgeous, aren't they, there? That's wonderful. So just watching the track that this aircraft's doing, it's getting us there now, isn't it? Oh Wayne, there could be some vomit in the passenger cabin on after this landing. I can honestly say this is the best graphics I have seen post Sim Update 5. Really neat. Scully Marty, thanks for that. See, I've not actually landed here before, so this is going to be fun. Can't argue about the bad landing. I'm thinking about getting them boozed up so they don't feel they don't feel the hillside as we plough into it. Simon, that's a good point. You've got a week to clean up the aircraft. We're zigzagging a bit, aren't we? I'm going to get back on track this time. When you're loving the chill out music, yeah. Well, before we started, I don't know if you hear right at the start, we had dramatic music. Marv, have I fixed something in the graphics, or is it default? It is default, but I have tweaked a couple of things. I need to go in and do a video if you think the graphics are looking okay. There we go, we're now back on track. So about half an hour away, I think. We're still meandering, aren't we? Left, right, left, right. Let's just try HD's workaround. See if this works for us. We've got pretty much no wind either, which is quite neat. Nav, and yeah, that'll do. Cheers, HD. I'm presuming that zigzagging before wasn't normal. Like as well how we've got TP shown J-Hog, have I got any ideas of what? I think I've missed something. So I was just trying to see if we could see Everest knocking about somewhere. As much as I would like to do the approach interference with live weather and sort of skirt around in the mountains with the clouds, it's actually not realistic because you wouldn't be able to do it in real life anyway. Okay, so JHOG 2001, in the content manager in the downloads, you have download that won't download. FSM static AI Europe. And when I click it, it just says wait, and you've waited days, nothing happening. What on earth is FSM static AI Europe? I've no idea. Don't know if anybody else in the chat will be able to help you guys out. 375 viewers watching at the moment. Thank you so much, guys. Hope you're enjoying the flight so far. If you are, please do give the stream a little like, and you can hit the subscribe button as well. Don't forget to turn on that notifications bell if you do, so you don't miss future streams and upcoming videos. You can see the rainfall as well there, which is quite neat. Barry, you just had to crash the desktop after takeoff. Oh no, that's annoying. Flight Sim, if Indiebuilders bought the A300 or A310 to Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, would I get it? Well, first of all, I've had no experience flying either of those two aircraft, so that'd be another learning curve. But at least it's an Airbus. I like my fly-by-wire technology. Oh wow, look at that! I'm just zooming a bit down there. That's quite neat. Weather has cleared up, according to the flight radar. Christian says, no, don't verify the Steam cache. Does that not make you download the entire thing again if that happens? Steve, would fly-by-wire technology be disabled by a solar flare? No, 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 no. Divert to look like. I'm not diverting. I'm just cheating. I remember I can change the weather, unlike you, you real life lot. I can just go dink, clear skies. Flight Sim Pro, you have a feeling I don't like yokes. Oh, there might be something in that. Right, enter the destination data then. Well, okay. Well, QNH we know is going to be 1013 because I'm going to be setting it as default. Temperature, oh I don't know, 20 degrees. Wind is going to be calm and negligible, so 15 at 2. Sorry, 150 at 2. Transition altitude is 18,000 feet. And the barrow, the correct one, is 10,320 feet. And we can see all the constraints there matching up nicely as well. As per the real charts, good to see them working. Art Pepper, good evening. Hope you're well. So the solar flares can wreck the GPS signal, but in terms of the fly-by-wire technology, are you talking about the sort of GPS, or were you talking about the computer technology on board? So as in, you know, the fact that there's no actual mechanical links between the side stick, the rudder pedals, to any of the control surfaces. Although there is currently, isn't there? The rudder's mechanically controlled, but they're doing away with that. Leroy, you're hoping for a nice soft landing? Nah. Christian, default SO is 10, 13, 15 degrees, wind 270 at 5. I think I'll change that wind. I don't fancy that. But I can go in now and just alter that. Thank you very much. How often have you been flying with default weather? I'm going to set that wind manually. So green dot is 188 and we need to be at 185, so that's going to be flaps 1 right at the start of the approach as well. Migs, are we landing in Faro or Paro today? You're not the first person to ask that. Future trip, Faro to Paro. Faro would have been easier. I like Faro. I can see why HD likes Faro. The barrel makes sense now. Landing in Faro with a decision altitude of 10,500 feet. Something's not right there. Should we just go for a nice lofty high cloud approach? Yeah, so as HD says, you have to check before you conduct any RMP approach. So on the prog page there you can see accuracy is high. Now strangely enough, on the new Phoenix aircraft that's to come out, this isn't always going to be high. I don't know how they've done it, but they've essentially got is it NORAD? No, NORAD's not right. But they've basically got satellite data, haven't they? So they've actually mimicked the satellites flying around the Earth. So occasionally that GPS nav accuracy is going to drop down and not be as accurate as it needs to be. Which is just another level of realism. And you turn off the ground proximity warning system during descent, it'll drive you nuts. Ah, yeah, good point. Could also turn, it would be a little bit like Innsbruck in that sense. So what are we at now? 100. We're probably about 50. No, sorry, only 30 miles away from the start of our descent down. Yeah, Christian, I didn't mean NORAD. NORAD was the wrong word. Didi, why are you re-downloading the simulator? It's taking you forever. Yeah, it will do, I'm afraid. Even people with like an ultra internet connection, it's still going to take you a few hours. So after this, I am going to be away for a week. What's everyone got planned for the next week? And sure, yeah, NORAD. It tracks Father Christmas, doesn't it? It tracks Santa. That's the best way to threaten your children. Look, there he is. If you're not good and get in bed, he'll not fly over our house. Savage, hello, you've just joined. Mind showing you the navigation display and waypoints? Yeah, well, we're actually not far off. As I say, starting our descent down. So I just want to check a couple of things, even though I'm not doing a real ops flight. We've got, well, we're going to change the weather. FMGC is coded in nicely. Landing elevation is confirmed at 7,364 feet. Auto brake, God yeah. And we would of course have our terrain radar on if it was working, but that's in op of all the luck. We've done our arrival brief, sort of. Okay, so I am now going to change the weather, so I'm going to go so we can actually make this landing. Let's get live weather off. Oh wow, that looks different. Let's just go to a few clouds, shall we? And I just want to spin that wind around. Come on. There we go. That'll do. Close enough. HD, this is probably one place where the terrain radar is a mel item. Unless it's Cav OK, yeah. I must admit, I'm kind of gutted that it's not working. Okay, where's Everest? We knew what you meant, HD. Terrain radar. Gary King, you're very welcome. Thanks for watching from Arizona, USA. Wayne, is that what HD does on the real flights? Yeah, just, you know, waves his hand of God. Nah, I don't want that weather. Shoo. Captain Camel, no, live weather's still working absolutely fine, but I can't land at this airport with that weather in. Right. Okay, down we go. To 17,000 feet. Thrust idle up descent.
Ladies and gentlemen, flight deck once again. Delighted to know we have reached our checks and tests over here, and we'll shortly be starting our descent into our destination. At which point, cabin crew will start to prepare for our arrivals. If you'll please make sure all the irons are clear and assist the cabin crew as they start making their way around the aircraft, it would be most appreciated. Thank you, and we'll have an update for you shortly.
Abed, why is the altitude on the nav screen not matching the one on the top of the screen? I don't know which one reads off what, to be honest with you. I'd go with the one in the simulator being accurate. Funnily enough, the right hand side of the aircraft looks much more terrain friendly, doesn't it? Imagine having a dual engine failure here. HD, no. Let's not. You wouldn't even have time to consult the to consult the QRH or anything like that. This is another one of those airports where you think, what the hell were you doing building one of these here? aim for a river. That's a good idea. And of course, that is what is that's exactly what is in the valley, as you would imagine in a valley, a river. So at Paro 888, let me just zoom in on the display here. Paro 888, we want to be at 17,000 feet and a max speed of 185. That's below green dot, so we're going to be flaps 1 by this point. My plan then, and of course I've never flown this in real life, or nor do I know anybody that's flown this in real life, but my plan is obviously following down. We want 50,200 by 842, then 13,800, which is the magic number, by 799, and I want to start getting configured fully. So my landing gear is going to be down flaps 3, and well, by this point flaps full. I'm going to commit to landing by this point, unless something goes very wrong. I suppose I could leave it a little bit later. When we get to Paro 816, that's when we can start heading down 3.5 degrees. Now bearing in mind we need to descend at a greater rate than 3.5 degrees, because we would overshoot the airport if we remained on that all the way down. So it's a highly visual approach. Must have GT. Someone asked me this earlier. I'm afraid I can't remember, so I'm going to have to do. I'll have to do a video at some point. Air Trooper, top you up with a triple G&T for this landing. Can I have one? Is that Everest? There. You can just see the peak. I can't see anything higher than that on the horizon, so I'm guessing that's got to be Everest, hasn't it? Anshu, 4.5 degrees. Thank you for that. Why have we got 3.5 showing then? Okay, we'll go down at 4.5. That should get us down. Does that now mean, Anshu, that I can blame you if it doesn't work? Oh, Anshu, have we passed Everest? Well, we had the rubbish weather, didn't we? Oh, that's a shame. Darren, you're buckling up. That is a good idea.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. If you could please return to your seats and ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened. If you are travelling with an infant, please ensure that they are secured safely using the infant seatbelt provided. The toilets will now go out of use until the fasten seatbelt sign is turned on. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
How upsetting to find out the toilets are now out of use. HC 4.5 is the limit for the 320, so yeah, that's a fair point. Jenny Storm, loving that, and she was actually in Greenland and making everything up. Well, everything you said so far sounds pretty sensible to me. However, I am going to perhaps be a little bit more careful with that descent. Yeah, terrain radar is in up. Would you believe it, of all the approaches? So, passing 19,000 feet, and we're coming up to 18,000 feet. We're going to stop at 17,000 feet, and we're going to slow down. So what I want to do is I'm going to activate the approach phase, just so we know that that is done. And we can do that now. We'll start to slow down, activate the approach phase, and watch. We're not going to get any bugs or anything that we used to. This is normally where it all goes wrong. So approach phase is now confirmed, and we're rolling back. Wayne, don't hit a mountain, Greta will be miffed. 132 magenta, is that right? So airspeed is bleeding off, and we want, what was it, 185 knots. There we go, that's better. 185 magenta, thank you. Oh, HD, was it going to the VAP speed? Ah, okay, got you. And now we're 185, which is actually the constraint, so that's nice. Oh, of course it's not the target speed. The green dot's target speed, isn't it? Numpty. Okay. Having a moment. Oh boy. Yeah, there's a reason now I didn't turn that I've turned off live weather and got away with the clouds. Oh, this could go so wrong. I'm getting the feeling I should probably have practiced this before coming and streaming it live to 400 people. So guys, just before we begin the approach, and I will probably go very, very silent while I concentrate, hit the like button whilst you're still alive, and why not subscribe as well, assuming I'm alive to tell the tale afterwards. Wish that terrain radar was working. Okay, flaps 1. Speeds checked. Flaps 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, Takeoff here. We're now descending towards our destination. There's no delays ahead of us. We should have you ground very shortly. If you could please assist the cabin crew by pressing the button that you have and they come around. And for your safety, make sure the seatbelts are fastened, the electronic devices are switched on, plugged into aircraft is locked, and the aircraft towards rules and council views. I hope you've enjoyed the flight, and I will have you down ground safely shortly.
So what I find really nice is the lovely looping curves now of the flight plan. No right angles and straight lines. It matches exactly the pattern that you can see on here. Okay, so we can go to 185, which is about 3 knots below green dot. That's all right. Jolly, if I crash and burn, you're burning with me, buddy. That makes me feel better. I had to do something good before disappearing on holiday for a week. No practice. If I crash, you want to see it. Okay, so I would imagine as well, for somewhere like this, that APU should be running. so we can get out. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just thinking Innsbruck and those sorts of places. So once we've passed PR 888, which it's not going to jump waypoints either as well, so watch this. This is going to go right down. Before, this has been a problem when doing RMP approaches. You want to pull the FPA 0.3 miles from the waypoint. So now, normally I'd have had to sort of guess that because it jumps to the next one. It no longer does that, so that's nice to see. Okay, so let's get down to 15,200. And if I go into manage, I was wondering if it was going to hold a constraint there. Sadly it's not, but never mind. I'll do that anyway. Thrust idle, descent. Let's use open descent. 15,200 blue. And should the Indonesian crew survived in real life, you don't see why I won't. Okay. So we're going to get nice and close to this, aren't we? Crikey, can you imagine doing this in real life? It's scary enough just doing it in the simulator. Oh yeah, don't turn the system off. And actually we don't have a glide slope, so I can get rid of that. Right, 15.2, that's fine. After passing 842, we're going down to 13,800 feet.
2,500.
Radio altimeter alive. He says at 15,000 feet. So I probably won't be paying too much attention to the chat pretty soon, guys. Okay, so now we're going to start heading down to 13,800 feet. Thrust idle. Open descent. And I want to be fully configured by this point here. Goodness me. And speed alt star, right, that's it. That's our platform. 13,800. And we're going to start slowing down. So flaps 2, speed checked. Flaps 2. And let's go to manage speed. Landing gear coming down. the 737 would say more drag required. Well, the Airbus can show that as well. I've not seen that happen. I don't think the fly-by-wire models that, but that's probably because VDEV's not working. So that's our max speed, 145 coming up. We're now going to go flaps 3. And I don't mind doing a little bit of sightseeing, but only until we get to Paro 816, which is now coming up. We're 3.5 miles away. I'm just basically turning everything on.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
Self-loading cargo, I can't even announce the sit down for landing, it thinks I'm too high. Okay, nav FPA.
$2,500.
5.3.
2,500.
And down we go. So it's essentially around here, isn't it? Nice that we can actually see the runway track on there. That's good. That could come in handy. Flaps full. And now autopilot will be coming off. Flight directors, and I have control. So now we're just going to make visual separation with the terrain. And from what I worked out a little bit earlier, I'm still a bit too high. And we can just see the runway there.
100 above.
But that airspeed,
Minimum
too much, isn't it?
2,000.
Perhaps we were too high. I can see the runway. The VFE is coming up. Oh, there's a reason they have to train for this. Are we ready to burst some tyres on landing?
Pull up. Pull up.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting down at that. We were too high.
400.
Pull up, don't sink.
Go around.
Pull up,
Go around flaps.
don't sink. Don't sink.
Oh, that's a shame. It would have been really nice to have got down there. But there's a reason why that is so difficult. I don't know how the go around function is actually programmed in. Have I got time for another go? It's getting very late. Why is my speed brakes out? So there's no go-around track coded in, which means I can't just chuck autopilot on and let it do its thing, sadly. Just looking out the window, we've got to maintain terrain clearance, haven't we? Now, I'm wondering if we can start that approach again. There's another reason why we didn't do it with live weather. Let me see if I can get... I just want to get the aircraft to a point of safety, and then I want to see if I can go back to the initial approach. And we'll try it again. Oh, that's nice. It came out of track FPA. Right. Let me just pull the heading bug. That looks like a nice straight line with terrain clearance. And I'm going to put autopilot. Yeah, autopilot's coming on there. And I want to continue the climb. I should have set the missed approach altitude to 16,000 feet. That's all set. Let me just quickly have a look. Can I go now? Ah, it's cleared it all out. Damn. That's a shame. My speed brakes are not out. Well, they're not now. They're armed. Okay. So now we're clear. I would have liked to have done that track again, but it's cleared the approach out, hasn't it? Yeah. Let me see. Can I add that back in? The RNAV. No start, but start at. Is it 777 that it starts at? If you go around? No, 888. Insert, and where's that taking us to? 842. No, we're not going that way. I'm going to end up flying into a mountain here, aren't I? Oh, we need the go-around track. .744 is the earliest waypoint I've got on there. Where is 744? That's just after 888, isn't it? There it is. There, we can see it. Just checking altitudes. We're going to maintain, yeah, we should maintain terrain clearance as long as we stay at 16,000. There we go. I just want to arm those speed brakes. I don't want any speed brake out. Yeah, that's not right. Who says we try again? And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cheat ever so slightly just to save a little bit of time. We're going to go direct to 842. So if we go direct now to 842, pop that in. Oh, good lord. Okay, the custom autopilot might not be, not the custom autopilot, but the custom flight management system might not be foolproof yet, as we've just seen. Let me try that again. Direct 842 and insert. Is that going to get us going there this time? Oh no. Okay. Well, do you know what? We may have to go fully manual. Okay, so I'm going to use the heading bug and we'll go fully manual, ignoring all of that. Let's get down to 15,200 feet and start slowing down as well, because we're already far too fast. So, flaps 1. And even though the train's coming in and looking rather close, there's nothing on the chart that we should smash into at 15,200 feet. We should stay nicely above it. I say nicely, that may be a little bit of a loose use of the word. Matthew, the initial approach fix is the 888. I'm just trying to save a little bit of time. I can already hear the wife chuntering upstairs. You weren't going to be this long. Shame it did mess up the plan though, and I couldn't just go direct and everything working nice. So I'm going to maintain heading mode. And we'll see. I could try going to 730. Now we're en route there. Let's see what happens if I pop that in. I just want to try and decrease the workload if I can. Ah, there we go. Perfect. So now we're at 185. And we're going to start configuring flaps 2. Great thing about the Airbus is it slows down really nicely. Manage speed. And let's get down to, what is it, 13,800 feet. There we go. Speed bleeding off nice and easily. And then the 13,800 mandatory is at Faro 816, which is up here. So we'll be there for that. That's okay. Get rid of that speed brake issue. Landing gear. Spoilers are armed. All the lights are still very much on. Glad we had the APU on. Matthew, Pero, not Faro. You know, Faro would have been down and eating custard tarts by now if we were there. Melvin, I think it's 13,800 feet. But what's 100 feet between friends? Ashnu, it's 3 AM where you are. You're going to bed soon because your wife will be stabbing you any time now. Ashnu, you need to get on our Discord server, mate, and chat to us tomorrow. Once again, though, it gives you a fantastic chance to enjoy that scenery. I'd rather enjoy it from being safely above it, though. Okay, so we'll go with a bit of local knowledge. FBA 4.5, the limit. If nothing else, we've had an exciting stream to watch before I go on holiday. I'm going to need a holiday after this. Flaps 3. Christian, just be careful of that. That glide path angle, the VS speed you're quoting there is for a glide path angle of 3.5, which, as I've already briefed, doesn't actually get you down to the runway. Moral of the story, listen to the locals. Indeed. Indeed. Who needs an operational terrain anyway when we can see out the window? Radio altimeter is alive. I'm sure I heard it much sooner last time. 4.5. Can I actually go any further than that? It does let you. We're not gonna. Okay, let's go.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
Maintain visual separation with the terrain. Flaps full. .5 for the circle to land. Who the hell wants to do a circle to land here? Not me. By 8:12, I want to be about 9,400 feet. Still think I'm going to struggle to get that. Let's get down. We're obviously going to gain airspeed at this point, and I need to bring that back. Very, very steep approach.
Above. Minimum.
Who put an airport here? I mean, come on, really? So once again, apologies for not speaking too much. If I don't make it this time, guys, I am going to have to call it a night, I'm afraid. It's looking marginally better, but not much.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
Ouch! Well, I don't think we're going to win any awards for that, but it wasn't too far set aside from the 737 landing doing the roundings on YouTube. Hey look, we're on the centre line. Oh, down we go. Anyway, so in other news, I'm now off for a week to recover from spinal injury.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated until the aircraft arrives at the gate and the seatbelt signs have been turned off.
Oh, I don't think anyone's going to be getting up anytime soon.
If you enjoyed your flight, you can now join the channel as a member to receive extra perks to make your future flights with us more enjoyable. Once again, a reminder that this is a test version of the Airbus A320 and not yet available to download.
Oh, that's interesting. I seem to have some floating,
FlyByWire developers.
some floating fence panels. Oh yeah. Oh, that's strange. I don't even know if this taxiway is allowed to be used by 320s. Anyway, the ultimate idea of the flight tonight was not to test my piloting skills at this airport. Clearly, they need some work. But they were indeed to check out the brand new system of the fly-by-wire, and that has performed absolutely perfectly. Just the pilot that was wrong. Anyway, I'm now going to go and do a vast amount of paperwork with HD, and I shall see you all in just over a week's time as I pop off on my hollywobs. Thank you so much for joining me on the flight this evening. If you are new to the channel, then trust me when I say we don't normally do stuff like this. Normally we fly real ops flights, and I actually fly to airports where I know what I'm doing and not airports where you require mad amounts of special training. However, if you do want to feel better about yourself, then you can check out the video doing the rounds of the 737 landing here, which may not it was probably marginally better than mine. Thank you so much, guys. I've loved every minute of this flight with you. I look forward to seeing you all in a week or so's time. Do check out our Discord server as well if you haven't done so already. And as I say, I look forward to seeing you all then. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and good luck for anyone that attempts to land at this airport. Believe me, you're going to need it. See you all very, very soon. Bye bye.